over campaign committee funds.
Plus, breaking news, an FBI informant is charged for lying in connection to President Joe Biden and his son.
And in sports, an Ohio basketball player reflects on his impacting career. Newswatch starts right now.
A judge in Franklin County is denying a motion to freeze funds for an Ohio House GOP campaign committee. Good evening, I'm Madeline Harden.
And I'm Jack Green. Welcome to Newswatch. This is the latest legal update from a year of turmoil among some members of the Republican Party. The lawsuit argues Republican House Speaker Jason Stephens doesn't have the authority to oversee the Ohio House Republican Alliance since he didn't win a majority of the caucus's votes. Stephens won the speakership last year with votes from both sides of the aisle, but gaining less GOP votes than other speaker candidates. Still, Franklin County Court of Common Pleas Judge Mark Surratt blocked a motion for a restraining order on use of OHRA funds. This comes as advertisements for Election Day began to populate online and on air. After developments in the first energy scandal, Governor Mike DeWine maintains he had zero knowledge of the bribery transgressions. DeWine affirms if he had known about the $4.3 million bribe, he would not have appointed Sam Randazzo. The two fired First Energy executives and the former head of the Public Utilities Commission pleaded not guilty to 27 charges in the $60 million energy scandal. According to the indictment, DeWine's chief of staff was aware of the payments from First Energy to head of PUCO.
Perry County deputies are still looking for a missing teenager. An update posted on the Perry County Sheriff's Office Facebook page says that the State Highway Patrol Aviation Unit completed an aerial search for Aiden Faye today and found no sign of the 16-year-old. Deputies say they will continue to conduct drone surveillance and possibly start entering small structures in wooded areas. They say with the threat of colder weather, Aiden is likely to seek shelter in barns or other outdoor buildings. Deputies ask anyone with information relating to Aiden's whereabouts to contact 740-342-4123. And joining us now is Newswatch forecaster Stephen Nedlick. Stephen, it was a chilly Valentine's Day yesterday, but feeling a little warmer. Is that going to stick around into the weekend?
Unfortunately, it's not. We're going to see a little bit of a change in temperature. However, the sun might be sticking around over the next few days, so for sure, we might have some nice weather coming up. However, today we saw temperatures as high as 57 degrees with a low of 27 with mostly cloudy skies. However, right now we saw temperatures start to dip a little bit along with clear skies as a result of a high pressure system that came in. However, working along with that high pressure system, we saw that low pressure system moving in from the Midwest, and we have a little bit of a convergence over Ohio. You can really see it move in through the Midwest and affect us and bring in a little bit of clouds, and that's why we saw a little bit of gloomy weather today along with the spots of sunshine, so it made it a little bit colder around 2 or 3 o'clock today. You can see the precipitation move through at about 2 o'clock, and that really isn't going to stick around for very long as we still have a high pressure system in the area. Now looking into tonight, we'll see partly cloudy skies with temperatures as low as 27, and that is due to the lack of clouds that we're going to see. We only have a few sticking around. Tomorrow, we'll see a chance of snow with that cold air that got brought in from the Midwest with a high of 43 and a low of 22. So you really want to break out a parka if you're going to class tomorrow because it won't be too warm, especially in the morning. Looking into the weekend, on Saturday, we'll see those temperatures really begin to drop as we have partly sunny skies with temperatures in the low 30s. Sunday, it warms up a little bit, but we'll see what happens in the rest in my full forecast.
Thanks, Steve. If you've been startled by loud boom noises, local county sheriff's offices are assuring you're probably safe, as the 180th Fighter Wing Night Flying event could be to blame. The event ends after tonight, but if you hear one of these sounds and believe it to be something else, county sheriffs say to contact them. A new medical facility on Columbus Road is in the construction process with plans to open this year. The Memorial Health System's new building plans to create nearly 160 new jobs and provide more local access to medical needs. News reporter Paige Fisher from The Post spoke with city officials to learn more about what this new facility means for the community. Thanks for joining us, Paige.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you know, How is this medical center being constructed?
So the mayor told me that they essentially had these module type facilities constructed in Pennsylvania and then had them shipped to Athens, and now construction workers are just putting them together like Lego bricks.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some struggles around here with having access to medical facilities. So what opportunities are coming from this building?
So as you said, there will be 160 new jobs coming to Athens, and with that will contribute to the city's general revenue fund. And from the surgeons to the custodial staff, the average salary at the hospital will be $130,000.
Wow, I mean, that's great for some of these people. I mean, that's awesome. Now, your article mentioned that the center isn't exactly a hospital. So what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between these buildings?
So this facility will not have any inpatient care. It will all be outpatient care. So the first floor will actually be an emergency department, and then the second floor will have some equipment, such as like CAT scans and so on. And then the third and fourth floor will have physicians' offices.
Yeah, and I mean, when is this center expected to be done?
It is actually supposed to be completed here soon, sometime in April.
Oh, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, and you know, you might have mentioned it a little bit earlier, but what does this mean for someone who needs health care in this area? What does it mean to have this new hospital nearby?
So
or not hospital, excuse me, medical facility.
So it'll actually just depend on like location, essentially, because if there really is an emergency, it'll just depend on where you are closer to where like the squad will take you or the person taking you to an emergency room will take you, whether it be Oblennis or this new medical facility.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, Paige. To read Paige's full story, go to thepostathens.com and look under the news section. Coming up, we'll have breaking news on lies from an FBI informant and its connection to President Joe Biden and his son Hunter.
And an update on the investigation into the deadly mass shooting in Kansas City yesterday.
We've seen some warm weather over the past few days. Find out how long it sticks around next.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
This is the inside story of a royal's favorite way to travel.
This is how the other half live.
Whether by private jet,
It makes him terribly glamorous.
We were flying the Princess of Wales.
We dropped 10,000 feet. We just dropped.
or Her Majesty's Palace on Wheels.
It was very lavish. It was very stylish.
It's a masterpiece of Art Deco design.
Join us for the most exclusive commute in the world.
Sunday at 8 on WOUB.
On Masterpiece.
They're transferring me to start bomber training.
You'll be flying over there. I don't think I'm ready.
Neither did any of the women who came before you, and yet here we all are.
My wife, she's pregnant. I wondered if I could go back.
We all have people we're worried about, but we have a job to do. Is that understood?
I think it started.
All Creatures Great and Small, the season finale on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow.
Smokey Stover is my father. We had been wanting to figure out what we had and decided to come to the roadshow.
The proof is in the provenance.
She had become friends with the artist. Apparently he wrote a goodbye note to this piece of art.
Watch Antiques Roadshow next time from Louisiana State University Rural Life Museum.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
In the last hour, a former FBI informant is facing charges for allegedly lying to investigators about President Joe Biden and his son Hunter Biden's involvement in business dealings with the Ukrainian energy company.
That's right. David Weiss, special counsel investigating the claims against the Bidens, says the indictment that it says in his indictment that Alexander Smirnov, quote, provided false derogatory information to the FBI, end quote, about both Bidens after Joe Biden became a candidate for president in 2020. Smirnov told the FBI that officials with Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company Hunter worked for, had told him they hired Hunter because he would, quote, protect us through his dad. This is a major blow to Republicans' impeachment inquiry into the president surrounding the matter.
You're taking a look live at Kansas City, where a deadly mass shooting took place yesterday during the Chiefs' Super Bowl victory celebration. The Kansas City police say there are more than 20 injured victims and at least one person has died. Authorities have yet to make an arrest, but they confirmed there have been at least 3 people detained. 2 of them are juveniles. Michael Yoshida is at the scene, where an estimated 1 million fans were celebrating just before the shooting erupted.
This appeared to be a dispute between several people that ended in gunfire.
Kansas City police giving an update on Wednesday's mass shooting during a Super Bowl victory rally for the Chiefs. Many of nearly 24 gunshot victims are children.
At least half of our victims are under the age of 16.
Killed in the gunfire was a popular local DJ, 43-year-old Lisa Lopez Galvin.
Lisa leaves behind an incredible legacy.
As friends remember her, some recall their own terrifying moments running from the gunfire.
And all of a sudden, through the partitions, a wave of people come rushing through, screaming, gun, run, police are coming.
In the chaos that followed, at least one armed suspect was tackled by those in the crowd.
When I hit him from behind, I either jarred the gun out of his hand or out of his sleeve, because as I'm taking him down to the ground, I see the gun on the ground.
I want to thank the people who acted bravely yesterday alongside law enforcement.
Police confirmed they're looking at a number of suspects, and multiple weapons were recovered at the scene. Several Kansas City players expressed their outrage on social media and concern for the victims. One attendee recalls seeing head coach Andy Reid minutes after the ordeal.
I will never forget finally coming out of the bathroom after hiding, and around the corner comes Andy Reid with his grandchildren and his wife. And he said, as he walked by, "Are you guys okay?" That moment of humility is incredible.
In Kansas City, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
For the 2024 election, Democrats hold only a 1-seat advantage, with many incumbents on defense in several Republican-leaning states. That includes Ohio's Sherrod Brown, who looks to keep his seat against 3 Republican competitors. Maryland's former Governor Larry Hogan has just entered the race as a Republican candidate in the deep blue state. Meanwhile, West Virginia's Democratic Senator Joe Manchin has not yet made a decision for re-election within the open playing field. West Virginia has been determined as the seat most likely to be flipped. There are only 5 days left to register to vote in the March 19th primary election in Ohio. For information on registering, go to ohio.gov.
He has both a personal travel agent and he also has a cruise travel agent. I don't know anything about either of those kind of travel agents.
Some chaos began the Georgia hearing over efforts to disqualify Fulton County District Attorney over the Fulton County wills in the state's election interference case. To kick off a hearing, an attorney for the Fulton County's DA's office attempted to stop the hearing. The judge blocked that motion. Also, some confusion about which witnesses would testify about their knowledge of the relationship between Willis and Wade. Former President Donald Trump and his co-defendants are supporting the disqualification of DA Willis, alleging her relationship with her top prosecutor, Nathan Wade, benefited her financially. I'm joined again by forecaster Stephen Nedlick, and you know, it's been such a nice time. The weather's been nice, it's been sunny, it was sunny today, but how much longer is that going to last?
Unfortunately, it's going to end pretty soon, as we have a lot of...
You're not telling me things I like to hear, Steve.
It's just not going to happen. At this time of year, we got lucky just to have a few days. So
that's true. That
should take a week and get in that situation.
Yeah.
So
what's it looking like outside right now?
We'll see a little bit of a temperature drop off. However, most of today we saw a high of 57 with a low of 27 with mostly cloudy skies. Now those will begin to clear out tonight as we have temperatures that will dip into the low 50s with clear skies due to the high pressure system that is still floating around near us. Now as you can see, we have a little bit of a frontal sandwich over here. So we have a little bit of a low pressure system and a high pressure system converging over the state of Ohio, which is allowing us to have really interesting weather for this time of year. We have above average temperatures as a result of air coming up from the Gulf. However, we have cold air coming in from the Midwest, So we're getting a lot of interesting temperatures. So we'll see precipitation over the next few days in the form of snow. We'll see a drop off in temperatures. As you can really see with this heat map, we can see the temperatures move down from Minneapolis into Chicago, and it's starting to affect us. As you can see, those lighter colors really drop into the low 40s, not yet the 30s, but we'll see it coming up soon. You can see along with this system, it brought with it clouds that'll really help keep what's left of that heat in. So it will really affect us. Not too much in the temperature department over the next few days. However, those clouds will begin to move out. Tonight, you'll see partly cloudy skies as again, those clouds begin to keep around, and we'll have an overnight low of 27 degrees. So if you want to have any overnight activities, you want to go for a walk, do anything, tonight may be a good night if you have the correct clothes for it. Looking into tomorrow, we'll have temperatures as high as 43 degrees. So again, we'll have a little bit of a drop off, but we'll have temperatures as low as 22 degrees. That snow will start to kick around though as it moves in from the Midwest, so it'll start to affect us. The ground, however, will be too cold for it really to stick, so you won't have to really wear boots. You can wear whatever kind of shoes you want because the ground is too warm from the sun we got over the past few days. Looking into tomorrow, we'll really start to see that precipitation move in from the Midwest, and into tomorrow night, you can really start to see it become very widespread as it moves through Columbus and out towards Pennsylvania. Saturday, we'll really start to see it all turn to snow, and it'll start to really affect us over the weekend. So if you're driving anywhere, give yourself ample time to get where you want to go. And again, it'll really begin to move out with that low pressure system on Saturday. Looking into the weekend, again, those clouds really stick around with those low temperatures at 33 degrees on Saturday and 43 on Sunday. So we'll have warmer temperatures, but it really won't be nice to do anything outside. Looking into the next few days, we'll see on Tuesday, we'll see a high of 54 with cloudy skies. So again, those clouds and precipitation stick around. On Wednesday, we'll really start to heat up as those clouds really stick around, but it'll be cooled off just a little bit with that rain. Thursday, much of the same, pretty similar days on Wednesday and Thursday. So you might really want to plan your days out accordingly those few days.
Thank you, Stephen. And as Stephen just reminded us, it's still winter outside, so you may have gone to see your doctor with a cold recently. But experts say routinely seeing a physician is the critical part of staying healthy. Mandy Gaither explains why doctor visits aren't just for when you're sick.
A persistent cough, a stabbing sore throat, a high fever, all reasons you may see the doctor. But even when you're healthy, you should go for a visit too.
Regular doctor visits are a cornerstone for preventative health care.
Dr. Matthew Goldman with Cleveland Clinic says seeing a doctor when you're healthy can help you stay that way. He says your doctor can help maintain wellness, manage chronic conditions, and foster a holistic approach to caring for both physical and mental health in the long term.
They can help create personalized care on your preferences and your health history.
A routine exam is recommended each year. The provider will check overall well-being, including mental health, skin, eyes and ears, nose and mouth, heart, lungs, and abdomen. They'll run tests to make sure you're healthy.
Routine screenings and immunizations help in early detection and prevention of disease. We identify risk factors that are common for chronic diseases, allowing for early intervention.
You can prepare for a routine exam by bringing things like results from prior tests or lab work, knowing measurements like blood pressure or blood sugar readings that you've been asked to track, symptoms that have come up since the last visit, and a list of medications or supplements you currently take.
Make sure that your provider has as much information as possible to help you make informed decisions.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Next in sports, hear the unique journey of one of Ohio basketball's key players. That's coming up right after the break. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
There's this extraterrestrial quality to sperm whales. It's a world that we know nothing about. There was one whale that came a bit closer. She was so interested and so curious. I think she's gonna take me into her world.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
How can we travel back in time? Is there a time machine? Yes, it's ancient DNA.
We're all chasing these precious time capsules.
It's like our instruction manual for what's coming.
We're stealing genetic secrets of the past so we can rescue the future.
Hunt for the oldest DNA on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
We cover all the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
Happy Thursday, everyone. I am Darius Sethna with the latest in sports. A young man from upstate New York stepped foot in Athens for the first time 5 years ago. Now, he's blossomed into a fan favorite and a mentor. Ohio basketball guard Miles Brown is someone who embraces being a team player. I recently had the opportunity to sit down with Miles and talk about his career for the Green and White. Everyone, I'm Darius Sethna and welcome to the Convocation Center here in Athens, Ohio, where today I am sitting with fifth-year senior guard Miles Brown of the Ohio Bobcats men's basketball team. Miles, great to see you. Thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you for having me.
I want to get started with your early days. You come from Rochester, New York to Athens, Ohio, and you've earned the nickname Downtown Miles Brown for your prolific three-point shooting. You've hit over 123s in your career. Can you tell me how that name came across, the first time you remember hearing that name, and what was it like for you?
Yeah, Downtown Miles Brown. I think the first time I heard the name was actually from my mom and my dad. I'm so locked in and focused on the game that I'm playing that I don't really hear anything that's going on the loudspeaker or anything like that. And I guess I hit a couple threes and the commentator just said, Downtown Miles Brown one time. And then after the game, my parents said, hey, downtown, jokingly. I'm like, what? And it's like, yeah, that's what they say after you hit a three now.
You're now one of the elder statesmen. You're kind of overseeing this younger group, helping this group develop. What has that role specifically been like for you this year?
I'd say it's been different. Growing up, being a vocal leader is something I've always had to take steps in order to improve at. So being the fifth-year senior, the guy everybody looks up to, I know the words to say. I just have to step out of my comfort zone and express them to my teammates who believe in me and trust the words I'm saying. So I'm still getting out of my shell and just holding guys accountable and being there to support my guys vocally as well.
So look out on this court at the Convo and all the memories you've made, all the success that you've had. If you could sum up, Miles, what this program means to you in one word, what would it be and why?
I'd say a brotherhood, really. Everybody just wants to win. Everybody has one goal in their mind, is just to get better as a team and get closer as a team together every day. I think each team that I've been through since my freshman year has done an excellent job of that. Everybody's been hands on deck and fighting towards winning that MAC championship, which is ultimately our end goal.
And Miles, great seeing you again. Thank you so much for your time.
I appreciate you.
You know, guys, it was just so awesome to have the chance to get in the convo, see Miles, and you can tell this is that leadership. It's a responsibility that he really takes pride with, and just having the opportunity to hear his story, how he's at the forefront of leading this team. And he was telling me we have some unfinished business in the MAC tournament that's coming up in March. So I'm really excited to see how this team finishes out the regular season and what they do in that MAC tournament in Cleveland, which is going to be here before you know it. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's like March just approached. It was like it's crazy. Well, thank you so much, Darius. That was an awesome story.
Thank you.
Still ahead, how you could hitch a free ride on Athens City buses tomorrow. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Tournament time is officially here for the girls, and there are some big matchups ahead. Athens and Waverly meet in a battle of 2 top 10 seeds. And how about the Lancers and Buckeyes in a round 1 heavyweight match? While the boys may have one more week, there's a big Vinton County and Meigs matchup to help decide the boys' Ohio crown. Episode 5 airs this upcoming Sunday at 11 p.m. and Monday at 6 p.m. And as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.
I'm gonna get started.
Come on. Watch me.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
Wow. What's in that? God, sorry. You're alive.
I am!
Gospel music is soul.
Amen, brother.
This is amazing.
20 years ago, the Los Angeles Philharmonic moved into its new home, the amazing Walt Disney Concert Hall. Now we honor its architect, Frank Gehry, with a special gala. From Bach to Debussy and a whole lot more. Join music director Gustavo Dudamel, Herbie Hancock, her, and Lucinda Childs when the LA Phil celebrates Frank Gehry on Great Performances.
Friday at 9 on WOUB.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains.
Dying up on the Matterhorn. Not a grave for me to lie in, nor a thing to keep me warm. The Queen would surely knight me if I could get back down, but it's closer here to heaven than it is back to the ground.
Lively performances where old tradition meets new, here on Song of the Mountains.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, if you plan on taking the bus tomorrow, you can leave your wallet at home. The City of Athens is teaming up with the Hocking Athens Perry Community Action Program, or HAPCAP, to offer free rides all day. Ben Ziff, a member of HAPCAP, says the idea to hold Free Fare Day is to get people riding public transit and become familiar with their routes. And as for those routes, they run through Athens, Albany, Nelsonville, the Plains, and Chansey.
So, Stephen, are we going to have some good weather for a bus ride?
You definitely will. We have a chance of snow tomorrow, some colder temperatures, so if you can catch that bus ride, you definitely want to. It beats walking anywhere.
That's for sure.
100%. But what's it look like tonight?
Tonight we have some colder temperatures on the way with clear skies. So tonight those clouds start to move out as we have an overnight low of 27. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, we'll have a 50% chance of snow with a high of 43 degrees and a low of 22. Now that's too warm for that snow to really stick, but it could definitely affect a walk, so you definitely do want to catch that bus. Tomorrow we'll start to see that precipitation in the form of snow move in as it gets to Columbus and will affect Athens later in the day. Moving into Saturday, you start to see it really ramp up, so this weekend might not be a great weekend to do anything outside, so you might want to move your plans inside. Looking in to the next few days after the weekend, we'll have Monday. Those clouds start to move out a little bit, but then on Tuesday, they return with a high on Tuesday of 54, a high on Wednesday of 58, and again on Thursday of 58, but that rain starts to come into effect the next few days after that. So enjoy the weekend after that stuff moves out, but on Tuesday, you'll really start to see those clouds move in, so you won't really get much sunshine.
Thanks, Steve. Definitely not looking forward to any of that weather. But that does it for our broadcast this evening, and thank you for watching. For Steve Nedlick and Darius Sethna, I'm Jack Green.
And I'm Madeline Harden. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. And follow us on social media. Have a great night.